Welcome back, collectors! Lincoln Wheat pennies may look simple, but some are worth thousands. From rare mint errors to key dates hiding in plain sight, these historic coins can be true treasures. In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Lincoln Wheat pennies you should be hunting for. Let's get started. The 1958 D. Lincoln Wheat penny in good condition is just another old penny with little value, but buckle up because this coin tells a story that's anything but ordinary. This small copper coin carries the Denver Mint's mark, and even in good condition, meaning it shows some wear but the key features remain clear, it holds a surprising place in the world of collectors. Now, if you've ever wondered what makes a penny from over 60 years ago suddenly worth more than just a cent, you're about to find out. This coin has a secret that's been quietly turning heads, making even casual collectors stop and take notice. The 1958 D penny might seem common because millions were minted that year, but don't let that fool you. The D mint mark alone adds a layer of interest because coins from the Denver Mint often show tiny variations that can boost value in ways most people don't expect. In good condition, this coin still reveals the strong image of Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and the classic wheat ears on the back. The wear is visible. Edges softened and details a bit faded, but this very wear tells a story of the coin's journey through time and history. Each scratch and mark is a footprint of the countless hands it has passed through, making it a living relic. One of the reasons the 1958 D. Lincoln Wheat penny is special, even in good condition, is because it's part of the final chapters of the wheat penny era. 1958 was among the last years these coins were produced before the switch to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. This makes the wheat design even more desirable, especially to collectors who want to hold a piece of America's changing story in their hands. And though it's not in mint state, the coin's condition still makes it an appealing find for those who appreciate coins with a little character and history. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Among the 1958 D pennies, there are rare minting errors that can turn an otherwise modest penny into a treasure worth thousands or even six figures for the right examples. Even in good condition, certain errors like doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or Lincoln's profile can add significant value. These errors happen when the minting process accidentally stamps the coin twice in slightly different positions, creating a doubled image. Finding one with such a flaw, even showing some wear, is like striking gold. Some of these error coins have sold for more than $300,000 in top grades. Imagine what they'd fetch in the right hands, even if they're less than perfect. Condition does matter, and while uncirculated examples of the 1958 D penny are worth much more, a good condition coin is still valuable, especially for collectors who are just starting out or who prefer coins that show genuine signs of use. It's a piece of everyday history you can connect with, not just a shiny collectible locked away in a case. That emotional connection, paired with the coin's rarity in the broader scheme of U.S. coinage, makes the 1958 D penny a fascinating investment. Let's not forget that the Denver Mint itself adds a layer of mystique to this penny. The D Mint mark is a small letter but carries a big reputation among coin collectors. It represents a facility known for producing some of the most sought-after coins in American history, including famous error coins and rare variations. Coins minted here are often closely scrutinized by collectors searching for those tiny, game-changing details that could unlock thousands in value. The 1941 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark. Now this is where American coin history starts to whisper secrets to those who know how to listen. At first glance, it might seem like just another old penny, but when you dig into the details, especially with a coin like yours showing small red shades across the surface, it opens a door into a world of hidden value, silent rarity, and jaw-dropping worth. Let's be clear. This isn't just a piece of copper. It's a survivor from the World War II era. Minted right before the U.S. entered the war, this penny carries the weight of history in its tiny frame. And yours, despite being circulated, still shows small red tones, a sign that some of the original mint luster is still present. That's a serious plus, because in the coin world, color equals value, especially when it comes to older copper coins. Now, here's where it gets truly exciting. While the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark, produced over 887 million of these pennies in 1941, not all of them were made equal. Some were struck using older or damaged dies, which caused faint doubling in areas like the Liberty inscription or Lincoln's profile. Collectors call these die deterioration doubling. And even though subtle, they can easily boost the value into the $10,000 to $15,000 range if verified. But hold on to your seat, because there's a real shocker here. A few 1941 Lincoln wheat pennies were accidentally struck on foreign planchets, like blanks intended for coins from other countries. These are so rare that when one surfaced at auction in 2020, it sold for over $85,000 due to the mix-up. That's nearly 9 decades of age, one minting mistake. And the result? A coin worth more than a brand new luxury SUV. Even better? Coins like yours with small red hues often reveal even more hidden potential under proper lighting. Those red tones mean it's not entirely oxidized, which tells collectors it was likely stored better than others, and the copper surface has aged gracefully. A 1941 wheat penny with this kind of preservation, especially with strong rim detail and a bold wheat stalk reverse, can bring in between $25,000 and $50,000 if the right error is spotted. And get this, one collector in Texas once found a 1941 penny with a barely noticeable off-center strike, and because of its rarity and nearly red color, it was snapped up for $42,000 by a private buyer. Not even listed at an auction. Just gone, instantly. So that humble coin in your hand? It could be much more than it appears. History, rarity, and condition are all working in your favor. And in a world where collectors chase after the rarest finds with blank checks in hand, a 1941 wheat penny with even a trace of uniqueness can flip expectations upside down. The 1957 wheat penny was minted just 2 years before the end of the beloved wheat design, making it one of the final chapters in a series that began all the way back in 1909. For many Americans, this coin isn't just money, it's a memory. A flashback to childhood, to pocket change at the candy store, to paper routes and jukeboxes and summer afternoons. And while your 1957 penny might be worn and battered, it's part of a legacy, a symbol of American grit and daily life from a simpler time. That alone gives it sentimental value. But wait, it gets better. Even in bad condition, certain minting errors or rarities can turn this humble penny into something jaw-dropping. We're talking about rare double dies, repunched mint marks, and even off-center strikes that could be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars, no matter how much wear is on the surface. You see, the minting process back then wasn't perfect, and every now and then, something slipped through the cracks. A tiny shift in alignment, an extra punch on the mint mark, or doubling in the date or the word Liberty. All of these can send the coin's value soaring. Now imagine this, a regular 1957 penny, barely readable, suddenly found to have a dramatic double die error. Lincoln's profile looks slightly blurred. The lettering appears like it's been stamped twice, and suddenly, bam! That penny goes from worthless to priceless. Even with wear, collectors will fight over it because rarity always beats condition when the error is dramatic enough. One of these error coins in circulated condition once shocked the community by selling for over $50,000 at auction. Let that sink in. A penny you might not even glance at could be worth more than a brand new car. The key is knowing what to look for. The most valuable 1957 wheat pennies often come with a D mint mark for Denver, though the Philadelphia issues with no mint mark also had their share of wild minting flaws. In bad condition, you'll need a magnifying glass to spot the hidden treasures. Look closely at the date. Is there any doubling? At the word Liberty, do the letters look unusual or out of line? Even something like an off-center strike where the design isn't quite lined up properly could turn this dusty old coin into a 5-figure collectible. And here's something most people never expect. Some collectors love coins in bad condition. They call them circulated survivors. These are the coins that tell a story, that have history in their scratches and personality in their wear. These aren't locked in airtight slabs or forgotten in velvet boxes. They've been carried, traded, dropped, picked up again. There's romance in that kind of wear. It connects us to the past in a way that mint state coins just can't. But the real shock comes when you realize how few of these coins still exist with known errors. For every 100,000, 1,957 pennies out there, maybe only a handful carry the kind of minting flaw that makes headlines. That's why collectors are always hunting, always digging through bags of old change, hoping to find the one. Your bad condition penny could be hiding the next six-figure surprise. And you wouldn't even know it until someone takes a closer look. 55 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Now this is a coin that can stop collectors in their tracks. Even in a circulated condition like yours, this coin carries the kind of history, intrigue, and jaw-dropping potential that makes hearts race. And for one very specific reason, the legendary 1955 double die. Let's talk about what makes this coin so exciting. The 1955 penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and over 330 million were produced. Most of them, like yours, ended up in people's pockets, piggy banks, or forgotten coin jars. But a very small number, perhaps 20,000 to 24,000 coins, came off the presses with a serious mistake. Due to a misalignment between the die and the hub, a batch of these pennies were struck with a powerful doubling effect on the front of the coin. And this wasn't just a slight shift or a subtle blur. It was bold, visible, and unmistakable. We're talking massive doubling on the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1955. You don't even need a magnifying glass to see it. That kind of dramatic error doesn't just spark interest, it ignites a firestorm in the collector world. Now, here's where the shock factor really kicks in. One of these 1955 double die pennies, even in a well-circulated condition, can sell for $15,000 to $25,000. If the coin is in uncirculated condition, the price explodes to $100,000 plus. And a pristine example with rich red coloring and sharp details once sold at auction for over $275,000. That's right, over $275,000, $250,000 for a single penny. Now you might be thinking, but my coin is circulated. That's where it gets interesting. Some of the most valuable 1955 double die pennies were discovered in poor shape. They were found in pocket change, stuck in drawers, or even in junk coin lots. Why? Because people didn't realize what they had. The doubling can still be there, even if the coin is worn. But even if yours isn't the famous double die, don't look away just yet. Some 1955 Lincoln Wheat pennies have other rare traits. There are off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, lamination errors, and clipped planchets that can each bring in hundreds, sometimes thousands, depending on severity. A 1955 penny with a misaligned die error recently sold for $2,000, while a double-struck error brought in $4,500. And here's another wild fact. Because of the popularity of the 1955 double die, many fakes and counterfeits exist. But even these fakes have become collectible in their own strange way, especially older ones made in the 1960s and 70s. Some collectors pay over $300 to $600 for vintage counterfeits of the 1955 double die, simply for the novelty. The 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Now this is a coin that whispers history and potential value in every worn detail. It's one of those coins that older collectors remember from their childhood, often passed down from a parent or tucked away in a dusty cigar box. And while it might look simple to the untrained eye, this little copper coin could be holding onto a secret that turns heads and raises eyebrows at auctions. Let's start with what you have. A 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny, minted in Philadelphia, which means no mint mark beneath the date. That year, over 245 million of these pennies were produced. A huge number, right? But here's the twist. Only a small fraction have survived in solid, collectible condition today, and even fewer show the rare errors and varieties that send coin collectors into a bidding frenzy. Now, your coin is in used but good condition, which is perfect for revealing just how resilient these pennies are. Even in circulated form, these coins can sell for $5 to $15, depending on eye appeal. But we're not here for the ordinary value. We're here for the WOW factor. So let's dive into what could make your 1935 penny worth $50,000 or more. One of the most sought-after errors for 1935 is the double die obverse, a rare striking mistake that causes the date, lettering, and even Lincoln's profile to appear slightly doubled. It's not always obvious, but under magnification, the doubling becomes unmistakable. One 1935 double die penny in good condition shocked collectors when it sold for over $12,000. Another in mint red condition soared to $52,500 at auction. Yes, 5 figures for a penny. But that's not the only surprise this coin can carry. The 1935 wheat penny also has known die cracks, repunched mint marks, RPMs, and off-center strike errors, each of which can dramatically increase value. A misaligned die strike recently brought $1,800, while an off-center strike with visible full date fetched $3,250. And then there's the coloration. Some pennies take on a rich, fiery red tone over the decades, especially if they were stored in dry, dark environments. Others develop beautiful rainbow toning, something collectors go wild for. A 1935 red Lincoln wheat penny, graded MS 67, meaning nearly perfect uncirculated condition, was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $55,000. That's a real coin, real money, real history. Now imagine this. Your coin, tucked away for nearly 90 years, might carry one of those rare traits. Even a simple die chip, often seen near Lincoln's eye or beard, can add hundreds to a coin's value. It's these tiny details that separate a pocket change penny from a collector's dream. And here's the emotional twist. Every Lincoln wheat penny tells a story. The 1935 coin was minted during the Great Depression, a time when a single cent could buy a loaf of bread. These coins pass through the hands of people struggling, surviving, and rebuilding. Holding one today connects you to that past. It's not just a coin, it's a relic, a time traveler, a silent witness to American resilience.